everybody, welcome to the No Fluff, No Gimmicks, Raw, Unfiltered podcast for entrepreneurs, specifically real estate investors. We are the Golden Ticket Podcast. Check us out at thegoldenticketpodcast.com. I'm your host, Jesse Davis, and my co-host, Jason Guerrero.
Don't get a chance to see the
Papi
behind the
Chulo.
scenes, the
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes of
Oh,
some
what
of the
is that?
things that we talk about, and how I'm always smiling because you're making me laugh because
And
of
vice versa.
the intro. What's going on, bud? How you doing over there?
Man, living the dream, buddy.
Yeah, it's
Living
hot.
the dream.
We're in June summer weather here in South Florida, where it's like 85 degrees at either 6 in the morning or 8 at night. It's super hot. Mosquitoes.
So yeah, same here. It's
Yeah.
83 here. Humidity, Houston area. But that's okay for us. I'm fine with that.
No, I know
90s is
you
when
are.
I'm like, through 90s, I'm like, ooh.
I know
But
you
yeah, I
are.
just had a neighbor. I live in a new subdivision, and we have this house across the street they built last year. I was actually sitting here doing my land business, just starting up, and there was vacant lots, and I watched them build them. Amazing how fast they can build a house over here. It's amazing.
Yeah, right.
But the last house has been sitting on the corner. It's a nice little 2-story house, been here for a while, and someone finally bought. I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna go over there and introduce myself.
Oh
I
no,
typically
you're
don't
getting ready
do
to
that,
bake?
but they seemed like they were nice. I was like, what can I bring them? I was offering just to mow their lawn for them. I thought that's a nice. They don't have a lawnmower, but
That
just
would
so
be nice.
happens the girl that moved into it, she's actually was the bartender of this wing place called Tailgaters. I'd go there almost every Sunday and drink a beer, drink 2 or 3 beers, and eat some food. And she was the bartender. I was like, hey, I know you. You're a bartender.
Whoa,
And then they
so wait,
offered.
it's her and her husband that bought the place,
Well,
or it's just
there was a guy there that I thought was her husband, and I introduced myself to him, but it was just a friend. But he's always over there. Actually, my window's right here where my office is, and I look at her house, like I can see her house right now. So I'm always eavesdropping. This is a busy street. I'm always looking
creeper,
around. What's going
creeper?
on? Oh yeah, big time, buddy. But yeah, that thought it was interesting that she was a bartender that I used to, and then they offered me a twisted tea, and I was like, I'm actually taking a break from that. 17, I think 17 or 18 days so
Yeah,
far.
good for you,
No
man. Good for
beer,
you.
and
Trust
very,
me,
very close.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Arf, arf, arf.
I know you are. I know.
Yeah.
Very, very close several
All
times.
right,
But,
all
but
right. Let's
yeah.
get into it. So it's funny. I know initially you brought up this topic regarding mentorship, and I thought, oh God, haven't we heard this enough? Not maybe you and I, but just in general. And then it got me thinking. I said to myself, you know what, self, let me see where he is going to take this, because although I'm a firm believer of mentorship, I think that, let's be real, there's people that extremely need it and benefit from it, and then there are those that just throw money to the wind. What's your take? What have
Mm,
you done with mentorship and programs and coaching and everything else under the sun?
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm kind of in between those two. I've thrown money at stuff and then didn't take enough action. But I've been in real estate since 2020, and my first course, I mean, I've spent, let's just add it up. I've spent 4,000 on a TTP with Brent. And I've spent 2,500 on a sales course. I've spent $5,000 on a mastermind. Um, I spent, oh gosh, last year the 10,000 I spent on that PPC. I feel like that was down the drain, honestly. Um, but yeah, my experience is that if you do the work, it will get you there. But I do feel like sometimes you have to vet your coaches and your mentors to make sure, hey, is this person, are they for real, for one thing? And the people that I gave money to, I did vet them. But then when you, like for the PPC one, got the information, but what he advertised was just plug in my stuff and you'll be making all these, basically, like they're showing this dream, but there's so much competition in PPC that I could not. You can't just play. You're gonna waste a ton of money. So they show a dream, but sometimes a dream is not what it really is. They give you information, but not so that's been my experience. I think overall mentorships and um, the ones that I've been in have not been one on one because that's going to be extremely expensive for you
Well,
guys
that's
if you're getting
coach. Now
into
you're talking one-on-one coaching.
or mentorship. It could be both. I mean,
Yeah.
I heard someone the other day say coaching was someone to get you there, and then mentorship was like I can't remember, it was something else. But I believe it's worth it. I mean, at the time, I was like, it's a lot of money, but I do feel like it did put me in a group of a room of people who were serious, of a network of people who who helped me get through deals and were able to give me a lot of information. Um, but for some people, I mean, you don't absolutely need it. But if you're just getting started, I mean, like you don't and you have money, I mean, you have like a few $1,000s or something. I think if you vet the right person, I think it's worth it. But
Okay, so let me just add a couple things before I lose my track here. So to add to what you were saying, or maybe throw my 2 cents, I think that they all work. I think that most people, let's be honest, they're not completely committed to that cause because there's plenty of testimonials to other people doing it. I mean, you could just as easy say, well, and maybe these people are paid off or whatever it is. So I hear a lot of people that kind of sometimes say what you say, where like, well, I really, you know, I didn't believe this, or I didn't get my money was worth there or that, or like if you talk about the PPC, I mean, let's be honest, PPC works, we know that. The question is, could you have maybe not done it long enough? I don't know.
yeah,
I think also to add to the other element of what you were saying about people who need it or people that don't need it. If you've never done a business before or that particular business, it's impossible for you to be as successful as quickly unless you have a never-ending supply of money and you've got a background in business to be able to make it happen. So the condensed version of that sentence would be, if you haven't done land or real estate, you need to do it. You need to follow the template and veer off as you get progress and the success during the campaign. Maybe I'm
Hmm.
wrong.
No, I
Uh,
think you're right.
I just think that I think everyone needs to do it. They need to dabble. For me, I'd say I did something in the Wholesaling Inc. program. I think it was virtual wholesaling via texting. What else? And then I
How
did
much was that?
no,
How much that cost?
that was like four and change. So everything in the
Yeah,
Wholesaling Inc. families is
is
more or
it
less the same price
same price? Yeah.
for the most part. And then I recently had done Joe McCall, who really got me
Yes.
hooked in. Um,
That's kind of
but yeah,
funny. We're same path almost. I did
yeah,
because I mean Brent was part of Wholesaling Inc.
yeah,
Brent Daniels. So and then you did Joe McCall too. So that's when you're talking, I was thinking about that. I think there's stages in your mentorship, like for example, guys that are big time. So if anybody knows about a collective genius, it's known as CG. It's a huge mastermind,
yeah,
super high level people, millions of dollars a year.
yeah,
These guys are paying. I don't know how much it is, but I want to say it's a lot, but
yeah.
like
I,
50,000 or it's a hundred
yeah, it's
thousand or
some
something.
crazy figure.
But I feel like there's a level. So like you said something good because Joe McCall's is a great way to start. It was 2,500 and you get your money back, or it was when we got in. But you have a Facebook group, you have a support, you have him, you have people that are already doing deals, plus you have a mixture of people who just got started, people in between. It's a
It's
great
good for
way,
that. It's good for that
yes,
when you're just getting started. I would.
in
It's
those
yeah. Today if you ask me about if I were to take Joe McCall today, it'd be a useless. It'd be useless to me.
Yeah, for me and you, yes, exactly. But
Yeah.
for anybody, I mean, honestly, like, I got my money back, so like, I mean, geez. But um, but yeah, I think and to put on that is the people that pay in to get to people that are paying to get into things are going to be more serious, and the higher the ticket price, most likely, not everybody is going to be more serious. So you got a better network of individuals. So like last year, now I'm not blaming the PPC guy. Um, I jumped into that way too soon. I was on a high as I did some deals,
Yeah.
10K. I'm doing a PPC all in. Really be selective, like be convicted on what you're going to do. Don't say, I'm going to I'm going to pay for this mentorship. I'm going to go this marketing route or whatever you're doing, and then say, "Oh man, I wasn't blaming him, but like in the back of my head, I'm like, I didn't get enough, but really it's me. It's my fault. If
Yeah.
I put the work in and I spent the money to make it work, well then I would have made it work." But
Sure.
it's a wash though. I mean, not a wash. I mean, it's more like you
Live
got
and
to
learn.
figure it out, and you're going to waste money along the way, but it's a
I'm saying it's
lesson
not a
learned.
waste. It's an
It's not a
investment.
waste yet. It's an investment, and you learn too, right? You know what I mean? And I have
Yeah.
access. It's a year mentorship. After that, I still have access to the Facebook group forever, so I can
Yeah.
always ask people on there, "What are y'all doing?" And I even can use PPC for what I'm doing now. Heard some guys were doing the guy Messy Millions, whatever his name is, the land guy, learn land. What's his name?
I don't know.
You talked about the guy with the mustache. Anyways,
Oh, Clint Turner.
yeah, Clint Turner. So they had a podcast. They stopped making episodes, but they were talking about PPC with the messy title. I'm like, that is a great idea. So I maybe can use it later on. Anyways, so yeah, so it's always worth it. But yeah, I think there is levels to it. There's
They're good
actually
for
a
the listen. They're good for. I'll tell you this, just in general, like across the board, they're good for having access to templates. They're good for community,
Mhm.
people that you could befriend. They are good for running deals by, just a kind of a second set of eyes.
Yeah, networking. I mean, it's
No, that's what I meant.
huge.
That's the word,
Yeah,
networking.
that's
So
huge.
it's really a drop in the bucket. People, they don't like to invest in themselves. Have you never noticed that?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I don't know. I think
And
that
if you're new,
if you're new, and even listen, like you said a second ago, there's levels to it. So you've got that beginner level of mentorship or friendship. You've got that upper echelon of guys that are doing those deals that you're like, wow, I want to be doing those deals. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to hang around with guys
exactly.
that are doing those
Mm-hmm.
kinds of deals.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, listen, it's education. You
Mm-hmm.
can't rely on the fact that you've done the program, so now you're a ninja. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
almost as if it's a never ending, continuing education that we go through to like a Bushido Japanese soldier that keeps sharpening his blade,
Mm-hmm.
sharpening his blade. So when he finally makes that strike, yeah, it's one strike and that's it.
Yeah,
You got everything lined up and you're ready to go.
I like the samurai
Yeah,
preference.
sharpening.
Like them.
Hayuga.
Haruken.
Um,
Um, but the but like you were saying, so uh, when you're first getting into this, if you talk to anybody outside of the real estate or entrepreneurship, they're gonna say, and today, this is a thought that I actually had today. I was making a breakfast and I was thinking it about a mentorship or a coaching that I want to do. That's very expensive,
which one?
or it's expensive on my perception, not for somebody else.
True.
But that's where I'm getting at, is if I told my brother about it, hey, I want to spend this much money, which is $30,000, to be part of this coaching. Even if I said 5,000, 10,000, anybody outside would say, "What? Oh my gosh, you
Oh
would
yeah.
do that? That's crazy." But everybody I talk to that's been in the coaching, and this is for Logan Fulmer's curative title. It's a coaching program,
Yeah.
$30,000, but and it's 4 months long. But everybody that's been through it, who I've talked to over Messenger or whatever, they tell me like, not even I'm not asking them. I'm just asking them. I'm asking them questions about what should I do next? Am I doing the right thing? They're like, dude, they're telling me if you can get in there because the learning curve is going to be, you're going to cut that in half. You're going to be able to do deals faster. And it's really true, guys. If you get into a program, whatever you're doing, you can learn it as best you can, and you can go you can try to go make it, work and get lucky. But it is going to take you longer. You might get lucky, but if you can spend a little bit of money to kind of get yourself kind of shot up a little bit quicker to a deal quicker, it's going to work that way compared to let me watch YouTube, listen to podcasts, read books, and do it on my own. You can
Right.
still do it. I'm just saying
It's
you
gonna
don't
take
have
a
to
while.
spend 10. You don't have to spend 10,000 though. You can
Yeah.
spend a couple thousand or whatever to get into a program. One thing that, or go to an event and meet some people. I don't know. I do know too, if you get into a group, um, and I'll even throw out there, guys, if you want to go to Pete Reese, he has a program. What's it called again? That Pete Reese's.
One
Um,
second.
I'll put it in the show notes, guys, because it's a great free group of land investors. And what I did there is I
Land
put a
Conquest,
post.
right? Oh no, no.
Land Conquest, yes,
Is it Land Conquest? Yeah.
land@conquest.com.
Yeah.
And I went in there, a free group, and I posted, "Hey, I'm Jesse. I'm doing deals. I want to do deals. I want to connect with the people." And I created my own mastermind, you were in the group with me, little
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
I
And I
remember.
think, and so many people tell me, "Thank you." I had a dude, one guy did a deal with me just because he was grateful that I did that. But I'm saying it for myself is that I met a guy in there, Hugo, who was doing SMS.
Yeah, I
He
remember
told me
reading.
he told me what he was doing with SMS, like sending templates. I made that myself to redo it my own way with FreedomSoft, and I made $80,000 in revenue last year. Now,
Bam,
from something he showed me,
bam.
a click of a button. And I was like, so I'm saying like just creating these little groups and being around people. You don't necessarily have to get in a mentorship, but I already had real estate experience already, but it will help you jump forward. If you're serious about this and serious about yourself, you got to be, and you'll admit this too. One thing that you got to have is faith, right?
Yeah,
You got to have faith.
yeah.
And I tell myself all the time, you got to have faith.
It's not
That's going to
easy, bud.
work.
It's not easy,
It's
and
not. It's super difficult, especially you look around how many investors, how many how many real estate investors or even entrepreneurs, well, I guess entrepreneurs are everywhere, but real estate investors, you're walking around the grocery store, anywhere, you never can talk to anybody about that. No one knows what you're doing. They think you're a realtor. Well, you are a realtor.
yeah,
People always think I'm a realtor, and I'm like, no. And no one understands what I'm doing or what we're doing for the most part of where we're at and the struggles, but also, so as I'm saying, being in part of a mentorship or a coaching or a group, it is worth it if you have a little bit of money. Now, if you only got like $5,000, then I probably wouldn't do it. I'd probably save that for marketing or for whatever. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Just got to balance out what's it worth to you.
yeah,
And so
yeah. I think just kind of somewhat wrapping up a little bit of this mentorship program. If you if you want to start a business, obviously real estate, being a quote unquote investor, guess what? The operative word is invest, meaning the first thing you're investing in is who?
yourself.
Yourself, which would mean you have to get out that knife. First you come out with your little
Oh,
Swiss
so,
Army knife.
so
First you start with your little Swiss Army knife, and then by the time you've graduated, You got a little Rambo knife, and then by the time you do your
Oh,
first
dang.
deal, you get your Bushido knife. No, but in all seriousness, I think you can't listen. If you got $5,000, the only thing you should be doing is investing in an education. At that point,
Okay.
in my opinion, to become as knowledgeable as possible. When you save up another 5,000 or whatever it might be, then you invest in the secondary stage, which would be the marketing in order to get these deals
Yeah,
going. And I think that's kind of how
that's a good idea. And
you
there's an
know,
ROI with investing in yourself too. There's a
infinite,
return on investment. So that's what you
infinite.
got to think about. I invested 4,000 on TTP with Brent Daniels. I got 2 deals, made 31.5. I mean, and a couple of guys in the group are the ones who pushed me through the end. So you got to think about that investment. You are going to get your money back because you're gonna. That's the whole point, not just to throw money in there. And I'm not doing anything.
The guy or the gal that's never going to beat me is the one that's never done a mentorship. It's never going to happen.
Yeah,
It's
and
never
me
going
and
to.
you should, and me and you should be in some right now. I mean, if we really were serious, I mean, it would level us up some more. Do you agree? I
Yeah.
mean, if we were able to be in one, that's
Yep.
why this mentorship. I've even debated like, man, I can get a Chase uh, a Chase business credit card, 0% interest, and just put it on there, like for a year. It's a year. If I was super, and today was a serious thought that I had. I'm like, man, because it would skyrocket me to the next level. But I'm still debating on doing that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got a
You know,
wedgie. Oh, sorry. Supposed to be
it's
for our
okay.
moms. Supposed to be on here.
You disgust me. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna talk about some deals. Deals, 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 deals.
So help me God.
Um,
When you make that voice, it throws me back to the popular commercials of like the '80s.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Sunday, 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 sell, sell, sell. Come out, come out, come out. 3 to 5, sell, sell, sell.
God help
We're
me.
giving the house away.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk some deals, guys. I don't have any deals under a contract. I'll talk about what I'm doing right now, real
Yeah.
quick. I'll let you talk about your deals. So it's kind of what I'm. This is my family tree. Here's the owner. Here's the next one in Canada. So what I did pull a new list because I was calling the Harris County, which is very, very. Even though you're calling deceased owners' relatives, no one's answering the freaking phone. And when you do, we ain't selling. Leave me alone. Cease and desist. Stop texting me. I'm like, okay. So if you're lucky to get a hold of an heir, because it's hard to get a hold of people. But I pulled a different list from where my mom lives at in Pittsburgh, Texas, which is a rural area of just land, to focus on just land, 5 acres or more. I was able to get that. I was able to filter that tax delinquent, 4 years or more, and 95 records all in. So that was good. Not sure of what the acreage is until you look it up. But I will say I'm able to get a hold of people. Like people are and they're pleasant to talk to. They're not jerks. They're giving
Right.
me tons of information. So I will say I'm happy about that. No contracts yet, but I did talk to a lady today who owns 16th. No, she owns 16% of a property. And the best thing was they were like, "Yeah, we want to sell, but the family members don't want to sell." I'm like, "Hey, that's exactly what we do. We handle that issue. I'm just trying to buy your part, the seat at the table. I'm buying your portion of it." The mom, I talked with the daughter, it wasn't the actual owner, but she said the mom, but they seemed eager because like they were nice to talk to. Like those are the people that you want to talk to. I
Yeah.
enjoy talking to those people.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I
for
can actually
sure.
help them. I can help them. And
Yeah.
that's a 25-acre part. See, that is I think it's a 25-acre parcel. It's probably worth 100. Back taxes are like 37, so I have to come in pretty cheap. But anyways, I got my brother. He's gonna start helping me do some research. So I've been wanting to get my brother involved for a while. We'll see if it works out. Not promise him anything, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, man, Mike, I think I'm gonna beat the 100K. I said 100K by August 15th. I'm gonna say 250 by the end of the year. I'm gonna
Oh,
get 250, man. I really think that I am.
damn.
I think that I really believe I will. I
Good.
think I can get 250 this year. I think so with what I'm doing. And I know that it's going to take a little bit of time, but the more I do it, the better I get at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Put
a
those
lesson
reps
learned
in.
right there. The
Put those
better,
reps in.
that's all you got to do, reps,
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
faster at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Hitting people, be efficient. I mean,
Yeah.
like the
Gotta
faster
be
I can find
efficient with
numbers,
time.
faster I research, boom, I'm calling somebody,
Yeah.
getting information, boom, next person, go. And then,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
anyways,
I
but it's
got a.
fun though. I really enjoy it actually.
Yeah. I
So
got a. I would say under contract right now. I think I've got 4, 5 deals that I'm in the process of just trying to maneuver, but this one. So, and it's not a big deal. It's really not. So the backstory is it is just under it's 1.25 acre infill rural recreational lot where there's road access on both sides. It's not in a flood zone.
nice.
No wetlands, and I was able
And
off
where's it
market.
at?
Um, Citrus County, Florida.
Oh, Citrus. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I find the property. This was through direct mail. Built the rapport, and she agreed to the price. We got it under contract for 16,000.
Nice.
I'm looking at the comps in the area. Easily, easily. I see the comps ranging anywhere between on the conservative side 28, on the average side 34, 35, 36.
Nice.
And after some back and forth, we go into contract, and I'm going through the due diligence. So, like, I want to say maybe a week goes by. I've done my, for the most part, due diligence, which entailed I contacted a couple of the agents. One of them went by. She gave me the check, good bill of health, that this is a good deal. That when it's ready to be sold, she's got buyers lined up.
Can
Great.
we ask you a question real quick? So that's
Yeah.
what you do. So I was going to ask you. So when you contact the realtors, you've always done that, which is really smart, guys. I didn't do that a lot, and I wish I'd done that more. Have them go look at it, kind of give you the boots on the ground, and then you're saying who are your buyers, and then you're offering them 3%
Well, okay.
commission.
So I don't care about who her buyers are. If she says she's got buyers, that's great. I'm not signing any sort of exclusive.
Oh, I know that. I'm
Exclusivity.
saying her pocket buyers. That's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
she's bringing you buyers, then you're like, okay, 3%.
Right.
You're
No,
doing
no,
your own
no. And you
listing.
know what? I'm pretty gracious. So depending on the situation of the deal size, it could be anywhere between 5% and
Nice.
9%. It really depends on the size.
Cool.
Anything about
That's
that.
cool, dude.
Three
That's good that you
percent
give that much
on
away. That's good.
23% on 20,000 is what? $600.
Yeah, so you
So
need more than that. That's not going to make them want to
right. So
get the
just to give
buyers.
you an
Yep.
idea, right, on a deal like that for this particular realtor, I'm going to give her something flat, somewhere between like 1,500 and
Yeah,
1,800 bucks.
that's smart. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get the bill of health. Title comes back, says, "Listen, things look good. There's a couple of things here and there, but otherwise, we can work. We can work through it. Not a big deal." So I try reaching out to the buyer. The seller, and she's in ghost mode. I'm like, oh. Like a couple of days goes by, went straight to voicemail. Okay, maybe busy. 2 or 3 days later go by, and she finally replies, and she's like, somebody offered me more. Well, what she doesn't realize is that I contacted a buddy of mine to help me out, to reach out and say, hey, call this person and tell them you're interested. See if she replies. He calls me back and he's like, yeah, listen, she replied to me. She told me the property's still available. I'm like, interesting. I got a signed contract. So now I'm like, all right, I think I'm going to prepare a memorandum on the property, which isn't long and short of it, basically a lien on the property.
So did you do that? Did you do that little strategy to see if she would,
To
and
see if
then
she
if
would
she
pick up,
did?
to figure out what was going on.
Oh, you did. I thought you did this before. Okay, got you. When she ghosted
No,
you,
no. I
you
said,
had your
listen,
friend. Okay,
I
got you.
give her a
Okay,
call. Here's her number. She
sure.
picked up. She said the property was still for sale, which it was, and it was under contract. So I wait a few hours and then I call back, like, hey, how are things going? I'm glad we got a chance to connect. I've been trying to reach out. She's like, I've been super busy. I'm so sorry. I said, great. So I could hear it in her voice. She said she was starting to have some sort of reluctancy. She felt as though I offered her too little. So after some back and forth, she had come to the agreement. She goes, I feel bad. Is there something you could do? So I went back. I said, give me a day or so. Let me go back. The short version is I wound up increasing it by about another $1,500.
Oh, that's cool.
So that went smoothly, meaning we were able to progress. But funny enough, so now it's with title. They're pointing out some of the issues, but I haven't heard back. I haven't heard from her since last week, which is fine.
But you have, because you had that rapport and you already went to her back. I like what you did. So you guys, like, what he did was perfect. He didn't just say, okay. Like, he didn't come back with her in aggressive, like, we have a contract. He came back with, hey, we're here to help these people and work as a team and provide customer service and just give away some, like, even with the realtor, you're willing to give it away to make a deal happen, right?
Here
And I mean,
was my exact sentence, and I don't mean to cut you off. I said to her, I go,
no, go ahead.
If you're not happy with the deal that we have, the last thing I want is for you to feel as though you're getting the short end of the stick. I, in theory, already have a lien on the property, which I did not. I fibbed a little bit.
That's good, yeah.
But because
Playing your cards.
Because of the time, effort, and energy that I put into it, it's costing me money, and this has happened to me in the past. But I'd really like to figure something out. Would you be kind enough to meet me somewhat in the middle of the other offer and get this done? She felt like a sense of relief because she really wanted to do the deal, but she really needed to.
Yeah.
So I gave it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I already have an end buyer, a buddy of mine. That same guy wants to buy.
Oh, cool.
He wants to buy it from me, and he wants to do some sort of seller financing because it's perfect. Double road access. There's a ton of mobile homes going on in that area.
Perfect, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted, though.
But I like how you did that. You said what I said, woo, because the way you spoke to her in that way was so soft and kind, and like, but then you also put your other card out there of like, hey, I do have a lien. Like, I'm not just coming at you. Oh, you don't want to be the seller's little, you know what, like, oh, whatever you want, seller. But you're coming out there in kind, but also assertive, communication. And you're like, hey, this is what's happening. That's awesome, dude. And then if your friend gets the deal, how much are you going to sell it to him for? Do you know yet? You work a price out?
No. Well, he's going to buy it from me, and it might just be one of those quick nickel versus the slow dime deals where he just gives me an assignment fee for it because he's going to sell it through seller financing. So he's got to kind of factor in what his whole cost is going to be, as well as the hard money. And so we're kind of working through it. I don't know yet.
Gotcha.
I haven't fully committed to it because it's not out of title yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know yet. I'm going to wait.
So you don't have any title? Have you got the title commitment back? Like, is there some issues on the title?
I got the title commitment back.
What's some issues?
Is
there any title?
Say that again?
Is there any ownership issues or title issue or anything?
Only to making sure that certain signers are either deceased or no longer around, and making sure that certain documents within the LLC are approved. Real minor stuff. Nothing crazy, nothing major.
Got you. So, out of all those 5 deals I did last year, the 4 I did in Florida, 3 had some kind of title or something.
Oh, really?
The one that I liked the most was, only had one that was okay. I had one where there was, guys, real quick, I had one where the buyer was trying to buy the lot, but he had a judgment against him, and they wouldn't sell it to the buyer because he had a judgment. I thought that was the weirdest thing. You know how this was the workaround. Well, he had a business, LLC. I said, buy it with the LLC. Boom. No problem. So you're going to deal with those title issues, which I love because you learn a lot each time you deal with one and you fix them out. So, All right, guys. We'll start doing this for more. I think from now on, the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we should definitely do these deals because people are learning a lot right now. I learned a lot. So from
Good.
you, all right, guys. We are the Golden Ticket Podcast.com. Check us out. Check me out at Jesse Scott Davis on Facebook, at Jesse Davis REI on Instagram. You can text me 409-828-2044. Also go to our website, fill out a JV if you have a deal. There's a form there if you want to work with us, or we'll look at your deals, give you some feedback. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, there's a form there as well. I'll get back with you. Jason, you have anything, buddy?
Working, working, working.
Okay, yeah. I'm done for the day. About to go mow some grass and get up early tomorrow and do some mow. All right, buddy.
Remember, mow it, don't smoke it. Have a good one.
That's right, buddy. Don't mow. That's good. All right, buddy. See you later, man.